another mode. Good luck.
Alright.
Okay, stream is
the
live.
streaming.
Okay. Hopefully the audio set correctly. I'll actually need to turn down the game sounds quite a bit because I've been doing some driving since last time I commentated, so it needs to go back down a bit. But hopefully we'll be going soon, and hopefully the stream is working. Although I
The
do
stream
not...
is working.
That is great. So
Yep.
I'll just turn down the audio on my thing. Got 11 drives in the lobby so far. How many are we supposed to have?
Yeah, your audio's really late. You just need to turn that in. We're meant to have 13. We now have 11.
Okay. 11 out of 13. 2 minutes after we should have started. That is not ideal, but I've seen worse.
We're doing a let-off at the moment for the first race just because of stuff.
What is a let-off? Could you explain?
Essentially, there was a last-minute change in host, nearly last minute, but yeah.
Yeah. And stream hopefully looks good.
Yeah, it looks brilliant.
It's called when you own bitrate and also own FPS and own computer.
As soon as they say that, you've lagged, don't they?
Ah.
Oh, thanks, Hugo. You beat me to it. Hugo beat me to pinging everyone. That wouldn't have been good if I did that twice. But it's fine. Okay, we have two missing.
The chat up on my other screen.
Roddy's getting an invite.
Please don't play audio, YouTube, thank
And then
you.
the only person we are missing is Ennis.
Ennis. Is this some EA problem?
No, Ennis just isn't around.
Should we just start qualifying? Well,
We've got the other 12.
yeah, I think we
I'll
should
just
maybe.
give one more call, and that's it.
Stream wasn't showing up on my YouTube thing, even though I'm subscribed.
We have it. Okay, let me have a look at the chat then. What we got?
Yeah, we've got. Here are the commentators. Me, Quill Pavlikovic, and Luke Mills are in the commentary box today.
We have. Yeah, a lot of people coming in the chat already. Let's go Alpine. Do we have one Alpine driver today? Who is racing?
Normally at this point I'd get up
not.
the championship standings, but it's round 1, so everyone's on 0 points.
A fresh start with a sprint as well. That's going to be interesting.
Oh, is it a sprint?
Yeah, to start the season.
At Bahrain.
A good sprint track, I think. I've done one sprint at Bahrain before. It was really good. A good track for overtaking.
I've done at least one. Did I do 1 or did I do 2 in other leagues? Well, I've done many races at Bahrain.
The Finnish Alpine team from F2 are cheering their team on in F3 today, which is nice to see. And hopefully you guys get a good result from your driver today.
It's 5 past. Can we begin, please? So we'll hopefully be starting very soon. Now I just need... I think it's this button. Why is it showing a black screen? OBS. No. Okay, yes, OBS. Thank you.
Perfect.
And we've got the countdown now, and we will have 18 minutes of qualifying, and then 10 laps on the mediums, presumably. And then 29.
29, yeah.
Yeah.
Could someone in chat just let me know, because I only have it on the mini player thing right now while we load into the lobby. Does the stream quality look fine? If so, then that's all good. If not, we can make some minor adjustments. Other than that, we are a go for the first round of the season. 12 of you currently watching. Thank you to everyone who has tuned
14.
into 14 now, yeah, it's gone up.
We have,
stream quality looks fine.
We have over one person viewing per person in the lobby, which is great.
A few people drop out with unfortunate circumstances. Obviously, with some people having things out of their control, which is unfortunate. But you know what? It's fine. We can still race with this many people, and I'm sure it'll be entertaining for everyone spectating. It's like real F1, more spectators than drivers. You're not wrong. But yeah.
Lots of
Let's
loading
see.
screen.
We're going to see how close we can get to last season's, I won't say record, but, well, what we got is, I think, a total of almost 500 views last season on the first stream of the season. As question from the chat, what is the pole time, do we reckon, in F3?
I think my PB is like a low 28, so in an actual session, I think I would do like a mid 28.
I want to say for F3, 29?
Maybe.
I'd say like a 29-1, 29-2, someone could pull out a really good result.
Yeah.
As we are, they're connected, nice. Seems like someone had a problem with connecting, but we're in. 12 drivers, an 18-minute qualifying session to set us up nicely with the grid for the sprint.
Luke, I'm getting a lot of sounds from your end, so maybe you could just change your mic settings a bit. And then it might fix itself. Hopefully it will.
I don't think that should be from my end, otherwise I normally hear stuff. Why am I in F2 then PB right now 28.8? I mean, if you're doing 28.8s then you'll be in F2. But I'd say, yeah, probably a mid 25, low 25 maybe if someone pulls a really good lap out the bag. Is what we're looking at here. Is my mic any better?
It's more like every 15 seconds. My ears
Maybe
get
it's...
raped. Yeah, they still got raped there.
Ah, great, thanks.
Although, maybe it's that I've set up Discord wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, you might want to check if it's on your end. For me,
Yeah,
I'm not having issues.
I'll just lower your volume in Discord a bit and hopefully that might fix it. Actually, you're on 130% on my end. Probably because of you being quiet some other week, but I boosted it or I dialed it back.
I assume you didn't get the intermission one I think you set up then, or...
I've only know that how to do images with 100% confidence.
Oh yeah, it's the media source. It's the one you have to choose.
Yeah, I know I could get it to work with 90% probability of working in the 2 minutes I had, but I'd rather play it safe.
Yeah, okay, so the first lap of this season is going to be the Red Bull of Mitch Snape, or as you will see on stream. Actually, no, you'll see it as Snape, because we have Mitch nicknamed from another league. So, on board with the Red Bull then. And across the line to start the first lap of the season. Heading down now towards turn 1, you want to pick your braking point just before 100 metres. Slam on the brakes, Mitch drops it down to second. Turns into the apex, dropping it to just under 80 kilometres an hour. A bit of a slide on exit there, but it's just a banker, so mistakes like that are fine. Opening up the corner nice and wide here, braking at 100 metres. Down to third. Personally, I normally go fourth or fifth. And then into the next corner, down to sixth and then fifth, chucking it through the right and left, braking down to second, clipping the apex there of the corner quite nicely, and a decent exit as well into turn 9 and 10. Some of the trickiest corners on the track, but Mitch seems to get it hooked up nicely on the entry, and the exit's not too bad either, as a nice clean start here for the Red Bull. And now heading towards sector 3, just turns 11 and 12 to go. And then, well, into the final sector. A bit wide there, had to lift off the throttle. And just not carrying too much speed through that corner, but keeps it nicely in the track limits now. Heading down towards the final corner. And then third. Nicely on the apex on the inside, and that is a lap around Bahrain there. And to start us off, it's a 30.0. So that's a nice banker there from Mitch. That is swiftly beaten by Harry Pell and Cannon Pierce. A bit off, but that was just a banker. Carl Max slots in between the two of them there, so a very close start, I will say, between those three at the front.
And right now we're riding on board with Harley, who is just finishing a lap now in the Aston Martin, and it is a 29.3. So that will be provisional P1. We might even get in the 28s.
That's a very quick time to start off with there, as
We've had
beating the rest of the field by
1:35 from a Mercedes, which might not be a representative lap.
as I into the line tops it 29.1. Wow,
That is quick.
that's a really good start from those two. And I'm sure they'll be happy with that, as Rudd, I think, again, not a representative time just yet. As that's kind of a style, a 29.169. Yeah, you're not wrong. As up to the line, on board with Mike Atherton, I was to say 32.0 as Mitch heads into the pit lane, completing his first run, followed by the McLarens. Do we have anyone on a lap? I believe Rudd in the Williams.
Alpha Tauri, who's starting a lap now. Doing 325 kilometers into turn 1, which is about average, so running a decent amount of wing to get through the middle sector, but not going to be as quick as Mitch, for example, on the straights, who's doing 331 earlier. Going into turn 4 now, using 5th gear, but turning in a bit too early and clipping the apex, which has really compromised the line into the fast turns of 6 and 7. Using 6th gear, and then going into turn 8, which is a tricky hairpin, keeping it in 4th for that extra traction on exit, and then going up the gears into the trickiest corner on the circuit of 9 and 10, getting the braking right, getting good turn in, and out on the throttle out of turn 10. Now going down the straight into the quick left hand of turn 11, and then into turn 12, which will be coming up very shortly. Will the Alpha Tauri be able to take it flat? The answer is no, but almost. And now into turn 13, which is a tricky right-hander to make sure you don't go wide or cut the apex too much and get a track limit. But into the final corner, where the traction zone is extremely tricky. But our drivers seem to be handling it well, keeps it well within track limits, opens DRS down to the line, and it is a 1 minute 30.2.
Apparently you're a little quiet, so you might want to just adjust your own mic volume up.
I've done that now.
Well, at the moment, the front two, with exceptional lap times, they've definitely been getting the practice in with those times, as Wojtek here in the Alpine, I want to say I think that's how you say it. With a good middle sector, and it's looking very strong in the Alpine. Chucking it through the final corner now on the run to the line. What time's it going to be? It's going to be a 29.147. And that's going to put the Alpine on provisional pole here by 22 milliseconds.
So apparently Ennis was in bed and was sleeping.
Can he get in? Or
he's on PlayStation, which complicates things a bit. Actually, it complicates things quite a lot.
I can invite him.
I have over 120 friends.
I have exactly 120, so if he's online, then I can invite him.
Good. I got down to 120, but then I had to commentate in another league, which involves adding friends to Steam so I can change the names, which put me back over 120. So now I need to cull a few more people.
So Harry Pell is starting his second run of the day with 9 minutes to go here in the McLaren.
Also running pretty low
There's a few
wings.
drivers, I think, on their second run. I don't know. It's just, I know it's just a glitch where it says they're going, but they're not. Let's see how the McLaren can do. A 29.8 on the first run. He'll be looking to save a bit of time and close up in front, as he's almost 2 tenths up in the first sector, so a very good start. And if you can keep the momentum up, maybe you can challenge the times of the front drivers. Someone's asked if we can see Rudd's next lap.
Is he just starting it now?
I think he's on his 8th lap at the moment, so yeah, we can do. We have some time.
Yeah.
And he's pretty much behind Harry Pelson. It works quite nicely as a decent middle sector. He gets a bit on the inside curb though, and unfortunately spins round. Is he into the wall? He's lost his front wing.
Fortunately, no terminal damage. But you have to be careful to not reverse too much, otherwise the game will disqualify you. But fortunately, there's a gap in the traffic that you can use to get back on track.
Yeah, I think he was just waiting for the Aston Martin to go past of Harley. As I've seen, Mitch has improved by about a 10th to 6th place. And now, Current up to the line with Harley, goes second and slots himself just between Wojtek and Arjun there.
Ennis needs an invite.
Ennis needs an invite. An invite is something I can do, as Lucas Rudd is now starting his lap in the Williams while I go and invite Ennis. Ennis is not online.
Brakes down into turn 1, spots the braking point well, second gear. Gets on the throttle, nice and careful, because it is very easy to spin at this track. And then going down into turn 4 now with DRS open, braking just after the 100-meter board. Meets the apex nicely, although carries a bit too much speed and picks up a small amount of understeer, but doesn't seem to lose much time. Now into the 6-7 bar chicane, very committed, and now into the hairpin. Meets the apex very well, and then gets some really nice traction out of the corner into the tricky braking zone of turn 9 and 10. Brakes late and meets the apex, which is good, and now opening the rear wing flap on the straight down into turn 11 in the beautiful Williams livery, I think. Now into turn 11, runs a little bit wide but not too bad, and now into the fast right hand of turn 12, keeps his foot planted to the floor, almost running out of track limits but keeping just within. And now getting a good run out of turn 13 on the long non-DRS straight into turn 14 and 15, which is a very tricky traction zone, and gets some nice grip out of the corner, and now opens DRS in the run to the line, and it is a 29.8, which is a minor improvement on the previous lap. Who else is on the lap? Let's go on board with the Alfa Romeo, who's just, I think, it's got full battery but not enough fuel, and is coming into the pits. As there's been a bit of a kerfuffle in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, I can see. Ennis is in. That's good.
I think he'll get one lap in and then the sprint.
Yeah. Having a look, who else is on the lap? Arjun's up at the moment in the AlphaTauri, currently 3rd place and improving by just under a 10th. Maybe if he can find some more time, can he get into the 29 zeros, maybe even lower than that? He's
1/10 up so far.
It's looking like a good lap for the AlphaTauri. What's it going to be like when he reaches the line? As well, at the moment it's an exceptional performance from the front three in this qualifying.
Far quicker than we expected.
Yeah. I mean, we said low 29s, but I didn't think we'd see this low, as it's a 29.0, just missing out on the 28s there.
I think if the battery didn't run out, that would have been in the 28s.
Yeah, definitely could have been. at the moment, Arjun's teammate is on a lap as well. And, ooh, a bit early on the brakes into the hairpin there. And he did that quite well on the previous lap, if I remember correctly. So, may have lost a bit of time there.
Although I think he's on an in-lap because of the low battery and the low fuel.
Oh, yeah. I just thought he was improving and thought he was on a lap. And yeah, that's an invalidation as well.
Mitch on a lap. He's on a 2:23, which I don't think is a particularly representative lap, and he has 4.6 laps of fuel in the car. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
I think he's starting a lap, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's one of those glitches where it removes where it says out lap. Like when they hit sector 3. So Mitch going early on his final run. I assume this is in case he invalidates. Just wants time.
Wasn't the most ideal turn one, having to take 2 stabs at the steering, but not too bad either. That Aston Martin's going to be a bit distracting on the apex as Mitch gets a small snap of oversteer, but manages it well and carries a good amount of speed using all the curb on exit, though breaks a bit early for the hairpin and then gets a small amount of oversteer, so I just don't think he's 100% dialed in with the setup, but he has a 10 lap sprint to do that. Now going into turn 10.
He's backed off. Yeah, I mean, he was a bit down on his time and seemed to be struggling, so I think he'll just go again, recharge the battery.
Riding on board with the McLaren of Powell now, who is going through turn 11, takes it nicely down to turn 12, keeping it flat, avoiding the curbs, although it's half a second down on the previous lap, so he might decide to back off and go for another one. I think he's done because he's turned off the battery and he's going to turn it back on, but I'm just worried that he's going to run out of battery by the end of the lap, which could be a problem around Bahrain, as we saw from Arjun. Running extremely low wings.
It seems, in the Mercedes. As I see Haas coming to the line, and it's a 30.5, doesn't quite improve his position. But he's not far behind one of the Red Bull drivers, but I don't think he's got long enough left to recharge and do another lap, unfortunately. As who else have we got on a lap? I think Harley's on a lap at half a tenth down. However, the first sector isn't really where you'll find most of your time. As I think definitely the middle sector's the one where most time can be gained. And taking a white line to the hairpin. Only just to get it through there nicely. And is now running up towards turn 11. The lovely green liveried Aston Martin, as I've seen the Alfa Romeo of Walksy jump up to 4th, as Harley also improving here. Can he take provisional pole in the Aston Martin? As there's yellow flags in sector 1, that looks to be an Alpine. Anyways, to the line, it's a 28.9, and he does go quickie. That's a very good time. However, with 3 seconds to go, I don't think Arjun's going to make it to the line to start his final run, and no, he's just missed out on making it. As Harry Pell is going again, but doesn't have battery, so I don't think he's going to improve.
Right now I'm just riding on board with Ennis, who I think has invalidated his one and only opportunity to set a lap, so he'll be starting the sprint from P13. But Bahrain is a track where the safety car likes to come out, so anything could happen really.
I thought Callum was on the lap, because I don't know what you'll have the McLaren in 11th's name as, because I have him nicknamed from last season.
I do not.
So I think it's Poe, but Poe
Yeah, it
is heading to the pit lane. Interesting pit entry.
Don't do that in the
because-
race.
oh, yeah. As we also have a bit of a drag race between a Mercedes AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo, as Marcus Carlos gets a nice slipstream up to 5th there, actually. And that's going to be the grid, I think.
Yeah,
And
I don't see anyone improving.
if we take the main portion of the grid from 1st to 11th, we have about a 2-second spread, it seems. 1.8. Callum was improving as well, so that theoretically would be about a 1.5 seconds, which is
And then
interesting.
we've got Ennis at the back without a time.
Yeah. And so, and it's going to be interesting, as there's a 5-second penalty for illegal blocking for the Mercedes in 12th.
That was done by the AI. Does that apply for the sprint or the full race?
I have not a clue.
Because if it's for the sprint, it won't be too big of a deal. Because you've
And
only...
it's at a 30-0, apparently.
That would have
on
been
his left.
P9. Actually, I can check the exact lap time. Yes, it was a 30.065.
So yeah, that would have been P9. So in the middle of the pack, it seems, would have been where Ennis would have fell.
I'm just waiting to go into the sprint. As the timer hits 0, and we get hit with the loading screen. Now,
Yep.
will it rain? I don't think it will rain.
It's Bahrain, so well, the name may suggest rain. The fact that it's in a desert suggests
And it's dry.
no rain. Yeah.
Although the game does like to chuck some rain at Jeddah.
Yeah, true.
Or was that last year's game?
That was on last year's game. That you like to do that. I haven't really seen it on this year's game, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it did happen.
I think Abu Dhabi is another track where there's like... I've seen enough races that there is occasionally rain.
Alright, so
As
we are getting
Cosmic22
ready.
in the chat says odds on, yes, it will piss it down. But we've got 1 second to go until the sprint race begins.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights and a long cold, and we are away here for the sprint race. Everyone getting a pretty even start. However, Harry Pell, I believe that was, got a good start, jumps alongside Marcus Carlos and moves up to 6th place. As how much carnage is there going to be turn 1? There's a Red Bull running wide there. Other than that, seems like everyone's keeping it fairly clean. Ennis getting bogged down a bit, but at the front, Harley and Arjun have got away.
Oh.
Well, there's a massive crash in the back ring there. That's 2 drivers reigned, an AlphaTauri and a Red Bull. Ooh, that looked like a bad piece of contact there.
It's a virtual
That's a
safety
VSC.
I'm surprised that wasn't a full safety car. Normally the safety car likes to come out at Bahrain. Interestingly, Logitech Tigers has gone for the hards. Which I'm not sure why you would do that. Because either you'll then need to use Scrub's set of hards in the race, like 10 lap olds, which you do not want to do. Or
We also have Callum on softs.
or you have to do medium soft in the race, which is also not ideal. Or it means you select the harder tyre allocation, which means you only get 2 sets of softs for the entire weekend, which is also not ideal.
Well, that'll be interesting to see here in the sprint. Maybe you didn't realise about the sprint, actually. No, I think you mentioned it before the race. I don't know. As the VSC will probably be ending soon, but Harley seems to have a healthy gap that is closing, so maybe Arjun just holding back a bit on the delta. As out the corner, seems like people are flooring it, so I assume the VSD is going to be ending, and it is. No one picking up a penalty, which is good to see. As everyone barreling down towards turn 1, no one really close to make a move at the moment. As everyone just holding their position. Bit of contact lap 1, but sometimes those things just happen, unfortunately. As I don't know if the Red Bull got damage from that collision. I don't think
the wing
Mike
looks
did.
intact on Mitch's car.
As Arjun immediately putting pressure on Harley here. Just 4 tenths behind. Using a bit of the battery as well. I can have all the data on because I'm not streaming it, so people don't complain at me.
Ooh. What data have you got?
Nothing exciting.
That's a shame.
So, yeah. But it seems at the moment we have sort of a top 6 train. The Alfa Romeo in 3rd place, right on the edge of DRS, struggling a little bit, and of course, Logitech with the hards is also going to struggle, with Rudd and Snape closing in.
Seems
And then
like we
not
might
too far
have,
behind is the Team McLarens as well.
we might have a 7-car DRS train, although it looks like the Alfa Romeo is dropping out of DRS as it gets enabled for the first time on the run from turn 3 across turn 4, and the Alfa Romeo is out of DRS for this lap, which will really not help the cause of staying within DRS. And it seems like there's been a split, and also Harley's almost been able to pull out of Arjun's DRS and is 8 tenths ahead at the moment.
Yeah, I think Harley's definitely running lower downforce. He's lost a lot of time in the first few corners of the middle sector here and continues to lose time, so
Not losing much
I don't know,
time,
a better
though.
exit though. Oh, Wojciech looks like he's had a bit of a half spin as Rudd and Snape are up to 4th and 5th here, and he's now under pressure from Harry Pell as well, who turns on the battery on exit, but isn't quite close enough, I don't think, for this move.
Harry's used a lot of battery.
Yeah, we know from qualifying that Harry Pell was running lower wings, I believe. As Hugo's cheering on Mitch in the chat at the moment. Hugo, you should be cheering for AlphaTauri if you're interested in that inter-team championship, as well, you might get some luck because Arjun is close to Harley.
I was just riding aboard with the McLaren, who went 4 move on Tigers, and that was really tight in the final corner.
As we have a move for the lead of the race, Arjun moves past Harley into turn 1. However, Harley's going to have DRS to fight it back, and well, they've got a 2-second gap.
But
so
Arjun's flashing.
Oh, the yellow flag. I think that's Logitech Tigris in the Alpine. As they're going to go side by side here into sector 1, surely not. The Aston Martin backs out as Ennis
has
and
more battery.
Ennis and Drast are also side by side here. As Ennis moves up into 8th place here in the Mercedes, however has a bit of a gap ahead to catch. And we'll have to see if he'll be able to do that, as he's closing that gap slowly. However, Callum, well, in 7th place, his stops are going to be dying very soon.
Yeah. I think
he's
depending on
already
tyre,
past the best potential.
Arjun spun.
Oh, Arjun's into the wall there, and that's going to allow Harley to get away. I don't think there's damage to that AlphaTauri though, so if he can get just back on track and get going quickly, then he might not be in the worst of positions. However, he has dropped to 8th place as
he has
Harley.
no battery as well.
Yeah, Harley's got a very good lead now.
All he
to
needs
be
to
able
do
to maintain
is
that.
not spin.
Also, if you want to know how Tigris dropped so much, as he's getting very close to the back of Mike in the Red Bull. Almost gave him a launch out the corner as he's gone flying halfway down the straight. Unfortunately for Wojtek, he spun.
I think it was
Can't quite get a
two
move as the
spins.
Red Bull does go deep though. And the Alpine drives it around the outside there and up into 10th place. As Arjun also is back into 7th, I've seen, in the AlphaTauri.
Is that Harry Powell in the McLaren?
Yeah, Harry Powell.
Harry Powell is only half a second behind Mitch, but is low on battery, but Mitch runs a bit wide into turn 10, but seems to have gotten a good exit, so I think he'll be able to fend off the McLaren for now. So we'll just check, and Mitch has a bit more battery, but we checked in qualifying, and both of them are running fairly low wings.
Rudd is right on the back of the Alfa Romeo as well, just a 10th behind, almost pushing him into the final sector here. As I think with 80% battery, he's going to get this move done. As well, the Alfa Romeo's got 45%.
What's that
I don't
wing
think it's
gap?
defendable. As Harry Powell is going for a move on Mitch here. As they're side by side, and in front there's also a battle. Everything's kicking off here. About halfway through the sprints, I've seen Rudd move up into second
What is that
place. Harry
straight line
and Mitch.
speed on the Williams?
Mitch's straight line speed is ridiculous as well. Oh my.
It might also be the DRS.
Yeah, it could have been. As Callum's also caught back up from this and is into DRS, so I don't think he's going to be under too much pressure from the cars behind, as Harley is running away with this one there. As they are battling, as there's a spin. I think that's Wojtek again in the Alpine.
So
And those hards just seem to be providing no grip.
Who is Poe? I've forgotten.
Callum Pierce.
Callum's softs should be wearing about 6.5 to 7% a lap. So right now that's on like 40%, which is completely fine. But once they hit 60, they're not so good. Like 5 lap older softs are like over a second a lap slower than new. It's pretty insane, the difference. So the tyres are definitely going to start dropping off from this point, but if he can stay within DRS, he might be able to start the full race in P6.
There's yellow flags. I think that's Wojtek again in the Alpine, and he just seems to be having a horrid day today.
Yeah. What wings is Mitch running?
Something ridiculous. Like, the cars behind aren't even closing really with DRS.
I mean, they are closing a bit, but not what you'd expect with slipstream and DRS.
And Wojtek has retired out on the track.
Which will be, I think, is that a penalty?
I don't know, but
we need to read the rule book.
I've updated it, or well, we updated it, is the admins did. Went through, rewrote stuff, so I can't remember what the penalty for that is. I know Adam's in chat. If you want to check that, then it'd be nice to know.
Commentators need race engineers now.
2 penalty points for retiring on track during a race. Okay. And that is of, I believe, 12 for a race ban. 24 for a rest of season ban. As Arjun's caught up and moves up. Not quite actually. Callum's got a lot of straight line speed there. As there's also a fight between Mitch. Oh no, that's not a fight. That's Mitch round, and I think contact with Harry Pell maybe. I saw some definite debris flying all over the track there. I'm not sure what's happened, but
that's not
I can't get a good camera angle. As the first track limits penalty of this season has gone to Jack Conway Williams.
It sounded like you needed to look up that name on a spreadsheet.
Oh, Harry Pell's not got a front wing, and he's trying to manage it by staying out.
I think that's probably the right choice, as Arjun almost hits the back of Callum Pierce, but they avoid kissing each other for now, and then go side by side through turn 2. And they'll both have DRS off the wingless McLaren ahead, but it seems like Arjun's running slightly higher wings, but is able to get the move done under braking, and the softs of the McLaren really are not working at this phase, as they should be at around 50%, which is where they start to not have the most grip.
Someone who's gaining from this is Ennis. Ennis in 7th place currently is close right up to the back of this train for 4th place.
And is the only one with battery.
Yeah, Harry Pell's doing really well at managing this front wing, I can't lie. As we have a Mercedes off at turn 4.
And Ennis is going to go for a move, but then decides to... Oh, is he going to make it work?
Trying to stick it in.
This is
on
tight.
the 8th side. Oh, that was close. But he might have an opportunity to dive it on the inside. He chooses not to, and
I think he just needs to choose a time to use the battery that is stored up in the tank.
This is very close here at the moment now.
Oh!
There's Ennis. Oh, a bit of late braking there from Ennis. He's almost ran into the back of them. That was close as Arjun here trying to get a move on Harry Pell. Harry Pell is just having to stay on the inside. Arjun and his teammate are almost boxing him in as he brakes earlier to counteract with the wing damage. He gets a good exit though, and he's trying to keep the fight for these positions. I tell you something, most people wouldn't drive like this if they didn't have a front wing, but he's managing to keep it on the track and driving sensibly. As he's gone very deep into that corner, almost hitting the AlphaTauri.
If he had the front wing, the contact probably would have spun him, but the understeer probably saved him there.
As Mitch is almost back in DRS from this as well. Everyone's fighting all over the place for positions here, right at the end of the sprint, as well, there's points on offer and people want them.
There's also grid positions, but Ennis again brakes a bit late and then has to run off track. Also using
the battery though, and he's got a good run.
A really good run. But he's out of battery now. Is he going to be able to
send it? He's going to brake late to the inside of Callum Pierce, and Callum leaves him a good amount of room. They're still side by side here, as Callum's going to try bring it back up the inside, and he's managed to do that nicely. Maybe pushing Ennis off track a little bit, but it's definitely a bit of
that's Harry Powell
argy-bargy here.
Brake a bit early without the front wing, and that allows Mitch to get through. And he's back up into P7, and we know what wings he's running, so he could
surely not on this straight. He's just going to fly past. Callum's already in trouble here from Mitch, and here comes Mitch to the inside, and all the time they're gaining on Harry Pell in front. Mitch dives it to the inside. Callum keeps it around the outside though. They're still side by side here, as again they're still going. Mitch just trying to get that position almost in front, and now he is in front, and that moves Mitch up to 6th place. And next up for him is Harry Pell. Something else that's happening is Rudd is having to defend his position from the Alfa Romeo behind, as
but he's
the
got
Alfa
more
Romeo's got to have DRS. Ennis has also made a move on Callum Pierce. These lot are still all fighting. This is ridiculous in the midfield. As everything's kicking off at the end of the sprint here on the final lap. But there is someone out front who this isn't kicking off for, and well, it's kicking off in a different way, and it's the right way, as it's going to be a sprint win for Harley Davidson, unless he makes a mistake out the final corner. I don't want to jinx it, but I don't think he will. As now up to the line for the Aston Martin, he's going to win. However, there's still action out on track. Ennis looking for a move on Mitch, but you know what Mitch's wings are like. I think he's going to have this one defended. Is he going to try send a dive on the McLaren? I don't think he's close enough. But
almost
if he can get the exit
back
out
of
this
him.
corner, and he hasn't quite got a good enough exit to catch up, Ennis all over the back of Mitch, but it's not enough, and there's all of the points place finishers already finished. As that is, well, what I can say was definitely an interesting sprint.
I need to go for half a minute, but I'll be back to discuss the race after.
Alright. So, your first sprint of the season, Harley Davidson takes the win. Lucas Rudd 5 seconds behind in the end, obviously was in a battle with Carl Mack in the Alfa Romeo. As they rained off your podium for the sprint, picking up 8, 7 and 6 points respectively. And then behind them, coming across the line in 4th place, I believe in the end, was Harry Pebble. Then it was Mitch, Snape. Oh no, Arjun managed to get up to 4th. I completely forgot. Sorry, that's my bad. So Arjun finishes 4th, Harry Pell 5th, Mitch Snape 6th, Ennis in 7th, Callum Pearce 8th, and your final driver to score points in this sprint. And moving on down, you have Valentino Landry, Mike Atherton, Jack Conway Williams, and then the 2 retirees of Wojtek and Marcus Carlos. However, they have another chance now heading into the actual race. So, that was a really good way to start off the season with a very interesting sprint indeed. Well, let's see what's going to happen now in the main race. This is where the big points are up for offer, or up for grabs, you could say. As all 13 drivers, I'm sure, will be looking to get as good of a start to the season as possible. As we will have a look. We have about 20 seconds before we will be starting.
I'm looking in the garage of one of the Red Bulls and I can see the soft tyres are being prepared.
I believe that's Mike Atherton, I want to say.
Yes, I think so, unless the garages are a bit flipped up.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, but we'll see. So, onto the grid. 3, 4, 5 red lights here. And we are away, a much shorter halt this time, as it looks like a good start for the Alfa Romeo of Carl Mack. Harry Pell also looks to have gotten a good start, but they aren't making up positions yet. Carl Mack up to 2nd, and Arjun up to 3rd. Mitch up to 4th as well. As there's 3 wide into turn 1. The Alfa Romeo push wide, and an AlphaTauri also. There's a bit of chaos there off the start. Mitch up to 2nd already out of that, so...
And I think he's
it's
on the
been
hards.
a good start for the Red Bull.
I'll just check
I think he
now.
is. There's everyone running side by side into this corner. Lucas Rudd dives it up the inside. He's locked wheels there with Harry Powell. As they're going to go side by side into Sector 2 here. There's a Haas range of Valentino Landry. As all that's contact between Lucas Rudd and Harry Powell there is taking a look at the tyres quickly. It's an absolute mix all up and down the grid as Mitch trying to hang it on the inside of Kyle Mack. And he's pushed him off the road a bit there. Bit aggressive from Mitch.
He's probably going to get the position with these wings.
And yeah, to the inside, Mitch is just going to brake. And I think trade that position, but no. Kyle holds it nicely on the outside and covers him off into the next corner. As Harley's already got a 2-second lead. He's avoided the chaos and he's driving off up the road as... Is there park firme on this? Yes, you cannot change your setup as...
You can change your front wing and tyre pressures.
Yeah, you can change like a few.
But that's it.
Yeah, it's just a few bits and pieces here and there that can be changed as... Harley's 2.6 ahead. Someone who's got a great run's Harry Pell, not even using the battery. What wings is he running? Because it's going to be 3 wide into turn 1, I think, here. That was close. Arjun comes diving in behind and almost collects Harry as Wojtek and Marcus Carlos make a bit of contact there. And that's going to allow Mike Atherton to get involved. And he's going to jump up to 8th place in the Red Bull with a nice bit of driving there. As that's a bit of contact, and that is a Mercedes of Jack Conway Williams round. But he's back on track quickly, and he's off and running once again.
As Mitch is fighting for position through the hairpin and is able to out-traction the McLaren of Harry Powell out of the corner as the Alfa Romeo runs completely deep into turn 10. But unfortunately, Mitch is not able to capitalise off of that because he is a bit too far back.
Yeah, I think the grip on those mediums is going to be something that's Mitch is going to struggle to combat at the start here, definitely, as yeah, he's having to lift quite a bit through that corner. Specifically, as this yellow flags, I think that's Callum Pearce in the McLaren. Another driver who's come accustomed to that corner, as there's been a few people here and there making mistakes. It's side by side between Harry Powell and Mitch. Arjun really looking to get involved with this one as well. There's contact on the main straight. That's two of them gone. As Mitch got launched towards the pit lane and stuck back on the middle of the track. So did Harry Powell. I think they've both gotten away with 8 damage because they spun into the pit lane. No, Harry's got no front wing.
And then
Mitch goes down the inside and... Whew.
Well, Mitch is
that was a bit chaotic.
The lead run on hards. Although Harry Powell's going to try and get back past Mitch. This is an interesting battle.
Harry Powell trying to get back past here, whereas... I didn't think... this was a common theme of F2 last season, people colliding on a straight.
As Harry Powell's just run completely onto the curb. As now Lucas tries to go around the outside of the...
It's going to be 3 wide here. I don't think Harry Powell wants to affect his teammate too much, as Callum does run a bit deep as accustomed to that, I think. I think he almost got spooked off the road there a little bit. I tell you someone who's having a great start, Ennis. Ennis is 4th place, and same with Mike Averton and Wojtek as well.
Ennis has a full battery.
Yeah, Ennis has played this really nicely off the start, actually.
And he'll get DRS off Arjun, so he can catch up and not use the battery.
At the front, the gap has stabilised a bit between Carmack and Harley. Maybe Ennis is a silent factor in this race. Harry Powell is going to the pit lane.
Mike is out of battery already.
Oh! Harry Powell's crashed into the pit lane.
On the straight.
He's hit the inside wall of the pit lane.
That is a bit of a dum-dum. No safety car.
Yeah, that was random.
I used to think that the safety car loved Bahrain, because normally it always comes out, but I guess that might not be the case.
Arjun has almost got himself into the DRS of Carl Mack here, who has started to lose a bit of time again to Harley, who's walking away with this one right now.
Just checking the batteries quickly. So the Alfa Romeo's on 62, Arjun's on 22, but Ennis is on 90%. So if I was Ennis, I would use a bit of it just to make sure that I stick in DRS.
Yeah.
Although it looks like he will be using some, because he is half a tenth out. Although you can see that the rear light of Arjun is flashing, which means that Arjun is out of battery. So I think that will be tempting Ennis back into the DRS, and he does use a bit of that at the start of the straight. But will that be enough by the time we come to the detection zone, which is within the braking zone? And I think Ennis is just within DRS and makes a corner quite nicely. And gets some decent traction out of the corner, so I think he will be able to stick within DRS of P2 and P3 for now.
Yeah, just a bit. It looks like what it's all about at the moment, the battle for second place. Another battle, it's a battle for 6th. Valentino Landry dives one to the inside of the Red Bull and just slots perfectly in the gap. However, Mike's going to have a cut back here. Choosing to start on the softs, dives it to the inside, and that's the move. And maintains 6th place for now. With a nice piece of defending as Marcus Carlos sets the fastest lap of the race. Tell you something, there's a lot happening in this one. Valentino in the DRS again, trying to get back up to Mike. However, he's not close enough, so we'll just stay behind into that corner. And those two continue their battle nicely along over what is currently for 6th place. As Mitch is catching up to Rudd, and these two have been working towards getting up to the fight for 6th place, as Callum Pearce isn't too far back either. There's Arjun here gaining a lot on the straight. Is he going to try a dive in the AlphaTauri? I don't think he is. Yeah, just staying behind at the moment. However, he's got the DRS again now. And he's looking to make a move around the outside. Braking later as there's yellow flags. And I think that's for Valentino Landry in the Haas. As we continue onwards. Are you sure it's strict corner cutting? Yes, it is. Strict corner cutting.
Track limits tend to not be too difficult at Bahrain for some reason. I'm not sure why, because there are definitely some corners where you can get track limits, but I just guess that there's not that many of them. Personally, I find it about as difficult as a bunch of other tracks. Like, I think I've got a similar amount of warnings on average here as I do in Canada, which is a bit crazy, but others might do better here.
Well, this fight for 2nd place, certainly having a little bit of a calm down at the moment, as apparently Mike will be on 2 warnings at the moment, as I did see he went off track the once, however that was about all I remember. As Arjun just biding his time, doesn't really have the battery right now to make an attack and then be able to pull far enough away, I don't think, in all honesty, right now. As
Sends a late
Arjun
one
has sent a dive though, yeah.
Does not work out, and all that's doing is allowing Harley to pull away and Ennis to close back in.
Yeah, Harley's really flying up the road here, and it's a great drive from the Aston Martin. Pretty much on full battery as well, so I think he's just cruising this one, probably, to the finish line.
Will he decide to extend and go for softs to get the fastest lap? Because that is the true question. Whether you want to... Is there an extra point for fastest lap?
In the feature ratio.
As Lucas Rudd is going side by
But it's
side
only if you're in the top pit.
with the Red Bull of, I think it's Mike.
Yeah, and Mike defends that one.
Although it's
Nicely
out
for
of
now.
battery, and Lucas has relatively low wings and all the battery as well as DRS, as Callum Pearce has had a spin in turn 12.
I don't think he's got damage there, so he'll keep going. As I think a lot of drivers right now would love a safety car.
Yeah.
As Ennis here looking potentially for a move using his battery, and yeah, he's close right up to the back of the Alfa Romeo very quickly, and he's just gonna hold this one on the outside and move up into 2nd place. No, Carl Max got a really good exit actually. I thought Ennis just drove it completely round, but I was completely wrong. There's a little bit of contact, that was a bit close. However, no harm caused yet, and they look to have a bit of a slight there as they're still side by side coming down towards the 9 and 10. Carmack backs out of that one, but in doing so, Ennis has gone deep. As Arjun's just watching this thinking, I could pick up so many places, and someone who is gaining at the moment is Wojtek in the Alpine, as Lucas Rudd moves up into 6th place.
Seems like Mike
the
went
Williams.
wide.
Yeah. Right now,
Ennis
well,
is out of
there is
battery,
this
and
battle.
Arjun's been able to save it. So
Yeah,
the
Arjun's back up to
positions-
32.
The roles have flipped,
Yeah,
and Ennis
as
is
in
almost out
front.
of DRS.
Yeah, Kyle's managed to still maintain his battery while defending, so he's doing a good job right now. As we are on lap 9 currently. I think we'll see drivers start to pit soon.
I think they want to get a bit more life out of their mediums, because the hards are not a particularly great tyre.
So there's your first time penalty of the day. 9 laps in, Jack Conway-Williams gets 3 seconds. Currently sitting in 12th and has just swapped to the hard tyres, so I believe he'll be going to the end of the race from now. As Ennis has closed right back up to Kyle Mack. Arjun just sitting back a bit, but in doing so he's generated almost 40% battery. As Ennis has a bit of a moment there I've seen, and
Arjun's going to be right on the back of him.
yeah, just 2 tenths behind, and he has the battery to attack as well. Ennis only has 15%.
Although I think Arjun would want to sit behind and wait for DRS and make sure that they don't allow the Alfa Romeo to get away.
Yeah. Yes. Well, right now Harley is just completely driving off into the distance.
Yeah.
8.5's the gap now.
Unless there's a late safety car, I think Harley's got this.
As Arjun's going for the move and makes it up into 3rd place there.
There's a lot of straight line speed.
Yeah. As Mitch has also gone past Mike, but Mike has gone to the pit lane. And will be sticking on the hard tyres to go to the end of the race. So that's a soft hard strategy from the Red Bull. Well, I think everyone else will be going medium hard apart from Mitch. As Mitch opted to start on the hards. Maybe why he's not really being able to catch up too much at the moment, but with this alternate strategy, yeah, with this alternate strategy, he's going to be quick at the end of the race when the latter stages. As Ennis, as Arjun runs a bit wide, picks up a 3-second time penalty from that.
The first one of our leaders to pick up a time penalty.
Could you please switch on penalties? Has been requested.
Here you go. Not too many so far. But they might start picking up later into the race.
Remember, Mitch had the crash, true. As
Ennis is just within DRS at the detection point.
we have a move for 8th place. Valentino Landry gets up the inside and parks it right in front of Callum, so he can't get back ahead. Someone who has caught up is Wojtek in the Alpine, and there has an opportunity to get involved in this battle for 2nd.
But right now I'm watching on board with Callum Pearce, who's right on the back of the Haas, and is going to have DRS to boost him down the straight. Unfortunately, it seems like Jack has had another spin in the Mercedes, but the McLaren has been able to get in front of the Haas, although the Haas will get the benefit of the DRS going down into turn 4, so this might be a lot of swapping between them for the rest of the race.
As Ennis just creeps into the DRS there of Kyle. And while Kyle's been running in clean air, he's lost significantly a lot less time now compared to when he was defending consistently over the last few laps. As I'm sure everyone would love to get on the podium here to start the season off. It's been a good start from them. Well, good start
Ennis
from the
is
front
on the
5
bubble
especially, is what I
again.
meant to say. Yeah, Ennis seems to have a few moments where he struggles as he would look to go to the pit lane, as he faked Arjun in potentially. Or maybe Arjun was going to come in anywhere.
Although this is a bit early, doing 18 laps on the hards, I would expect that you'd want to do another lap or 2 on the medium.
Oh, Arjun's got to get a new front wing as well.
That's going to be about 5 seconds. Although if he's had that front wing damaged for the entire race, imagine how much pace has been locked away.
True. If he manages to get a good few 8 laps with people not pitting for a while, that could be good for him. As Callum Pearce also comes into the pits in the McLaren, as he will also be swapping over to hards now till the end of the race. So we are now in the pit window. It's typically around lap 12 to 15. You'll see people pitting from mediums to hards, and then slightly later for those swapping from hard to medium, which is, well, today just Mitch.
Seems like Ennis and Wojtek have barely been able to stay within DRS this lap, although it will be tight going into the final corner. I suspect the Alpine will use a bit of battery to try and close in to Ennis for that crucial DRS.
I don't think he's going to need to use much, and yeah, he's managed to
Ennis,
get a good exit there.
I think Ennis is out. And he's
Yeah,
only got
Ennis is
10%
out.
on the battery, so I think he is well and truly dropped compared to the 40% of the Alfa Romeo ahead.
I think if I was Ennis, I might have pitted that lap, you know.
Yeah.
If you're struggling to stay in the DRS, I think sometimes it's the best idea for you to just go into the pit lane, see if you can get an undercut, as he's hovering right on the edge, but it's just not quite enough, as Kyle's doing a good job just to maintain that gap where he needs to. And well, that's all he needs to do right now, as Valentino heads to the pits in the Haas, promoting Arjun up to 7th place, and it means he doesn't have to get past Valentino on track, which I think he'll be greatly appreciative of.
I'll switch the
I think
times
he's
to
gonna...
the leader so we can see how far behind Arjun is. So right now he's about 30 seconds behind the pack that we're looking at right now, although it seems like Ennis has been able to close back within DRS, so it's been a strong middle sector for the Albanian.
At the back we have a move from Callum Pearce, as Valentino trying to get back past on those Colt tyres, dives it to the inside, but Callum slams the door and keeps the position. As well, the tyre warm-up phase isn't the best on hard.
It's dreadful.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Remember
Oh,
Hamilton,
Callum's from wide. Oh, and that's a penalty.
remember Hamilton drifting out of the pits on the hards
As
back from race
Wojtek
1,
heads to the pit lane.
22 races ago. As Callum Pearce has had a bit of an oopsie daisy on the braking zone for turn 10, which has allowed Valentino to get past.
And this is also quite close to Kyle here. Not quite close enough there.
Dennis just found some magic pace in these tyres.
I don't know, maybe he's got less wear than Kyle, maybe? I don't know.
That's a possibility. We unfortunately have a spinner in turn 11.
I believe that's Callum Pearce.
Maybe the tyres are a bit cooked. But Arjun
So
is
something
catching up
you know.
to the leaders.
So Arjun's 5.7 behind Wojtek. Wojtek's obviously got to do the warm-up phase, so we'll check back in at the end of the lap what that gap is, but that's how much he's going to be behind that pack that he was stuck behind us. Ennis really looks to have picked up some pace here, as he's all over the back of Kyle Mack, who's done a brilliant job this race at just maintaining his 2nd place. And well, he's still got 50% battery, as Harley also continues to stay out. Will either of these two pit? Kyle's not interested, and neither is Ennis. What about Lucas Rudd? It could be interesting if they try it. Lucas Rudd's coming in there.
I'm somewhat hoping that they go for softs, because that will make the strategy a lot more interesting at the end. Although if they do want to go to soft, they're probably going to have to extend to about lap 19.
As Adam has pointed out, Kyle's defence against Ennis and Arjun has been class, and he's going to be trying to defend again here. Great exit out the corner, and there you go, keeps the position. So where's Lucas Rudd going to rejoin the race? Just behind Arjun now, actually. However, he has got to do the warm-up. As a gap between Argent and Wojtek close to 3.5 after that lap, so I
think
assume
the
that's
warm-up's
about how much
something
he's
like
going to be behind.
3 seconds on the hards.
Yeah, it was 2 seconds across that lap
Yeah,
that
but you
Argent
also
was
have
able
to
to gain.
factor in turn 1, where you lose like a second.
Yeah, true. As we have a Mercedes with blue flags. Yeah. As well, maybe Ennis hopes he doesn't move out the way for DRS, but he's
Well,
off to
Ennis
the
will
side.
get DRS regardless.
Yeah, the Mercedes pulled off to the side, slowed down a bit, and just let them
As
through.
someone wants more off-board cameras, here you go.
As Harley's in at the front. Kyle Mack. Oh, that's dodgy.
That will be 5 seconds if reported, I think.
Yeah. That can be reported
But
by
Ennis right now is leading the race.
pretty much anyone, to be fair. So, Kyle and Harley both onto the hards.
That was a massive snap from Ennis there. That would have cost him a second or two.
Is Ennis trying medium soft?
Might be.
As Wojtek moves up, Mitch has actually come in for the mediums, so he's back in a decent spot as Arjun's closed that gap to 2.9 up to Wojtek, who's about 2.5 seconds behind Kyle, but Kyle's just come out the pits, so I think the Alpine's going to be right with him by the end of the lap.
Yeah.
As I wonder how much stewarding you're going to have to do after this race.
I'm not sure.
I don't think there's been like a ridiculous amount of incidents, to be fair.
There's only 12 of them now.
So yeah, you wouldn't expect too much, but they've been, I think mainly early on in the race there was quite a bit of contact.
Yeah.
Since then I haven't really seen much. As Arjun's closing in all the while to Wojtek, who's also closing in all the while to Kyle, so I think these three are going to be all on top of each other again soon.
But will Kyle be able to stay out of DRS?
Ennis is going straight in here. He's not interested in staying out anymore.
Yeah, I think he has to go for hards at this point, but the mediums are going to be completely knackered. So I would have gone a lap earlier, maybe. But it's a quick pit stop for the Mercedes crew, the 2.2 seconds equal performance pit stop, to be exact. As long as you press the button on your steering wheel within like a 2-second window, you're good.
Now, where's Ennis going to come out then? He's coming out just alongside Kyle, but he's got to do that tyre warm-up.
And I think Kyle will have DRS as well.
Ooh, that was close with Ennis coming out the pit lane. Yeah, this also brings Wojtek back in, but I think Wojtek needs to get past Ennis here.
Yeah, he needs
otherwise
to get
I think
past
Ennis
now.
will lose. I think Ennis will lose to DRS, so
Yeah, he's basically guaranteed to lose DRS.
the Alpine's close to the back, and he's going to try the move here. Is he going to be able to get it?
Back, gets on the curb,
Ooh.
and is unable to do it. Will he send it into the hairpin? The answer
gone
is
for it.
yes. However, all this battling means that they're now 2 seconds behind the Alfa Romeo ahead, so that might be P2 locked in, but Ennis is able to get the run around the outside, but then runs deep onto the curb.
He's got tapped there a little bit. I saw from the angle above there was minor contact, but it was still enough to cause a bit of a spin, as that's invited Arjun now right onto the back of Wojtek. And what can the AlphaTauri do then? Currently
Seems like Ennis might be out of DRS given his battery deficiency compared to Wojtek, and Arjun's just going to get pulled along.
Well, we know what pace. Well, we know that Arjun didn't have a front wing. I wonder what pace he's going to be able to pull out here now that he does have a front wing on this stint. But he does have 3 seconds as well. There's still no safety car this race. We've only had 1 DNF, to be fair. As most of the action has been congregated, well, in that fight for second place. I think Ennis is, unless they're going to start battling a lot again, I think might be in trouble.
Yeah.
Is Wojtek's also catching up to Kyle in front. And he'll be right on the back for second place soon. I didn't see contact, he bottomed out, I think. I was on a different angle. I don't know if that was just for me that I saw, but there was contact on my screen.
Maybe there's also a tiny bit of lag as the cars are teleporting a tiny bit more than average, I would say.
Yeah.
But not ridiculous, as Jack has unfortunately disconnected. So if you could try and get him back in, that would be good.
Should be able to rejoin off an invite, yeah.
As right now we're riding on board Arjun, who's the only driver within GRS at the moment, who's following behind Wojtek Tigers, who is only
He's on Steam, he'll be able to join off Mitch's profile as well. That should be good.
But in crossplay lobbies you can only join off the host, I think. It's a bit funky.
That is Mitch.
Okay.
That's fine. You should be able to get back in off Mitch's profile, hopefully. I tell you something, Wojtek's really put the pace up here and is closing massively on Kyle.
Did he get DRS from the lap car of Jack?
Yeah, Kyle did.
So that will not be helping Tigers. That really won't. As Tigers was briefly within the 1 second barrier, but now gets a waft of dirty air from the ghosted car. And now the gap is 1.1 seconds, so it's going to be tight going into turn 14 where the detection point is. But we'll see whether either of them are using battery, and surprisingly they're both deciding to save instead of going for the DRS.
Oh, there's a yellow flag, that's Mitch. And it's a VSC. What's happened there? He's completely bent it in the barrier. Oh, it's the full safety car. Hello.
Upgraded.
And for me it says Wojtek's in the pit lane, although he's not.
Uh-oh, is there desync? Because I think Mitch's thing broke. What?
Oh no, he's in the pits. He's retired. What?
This is weird.
Anyway, Zenith in.
Is there any desync?
I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see anything right now. Yeah, Wojtek's AI's just pulled off completely. Mike's also in the pit lane. Oh, what is going on with the order? There just seems to be a bit of lag with the pit lane, it seems. What is happening?
The Red Bull of Mike was in front of Ennis in turn 3 and then has suddenly glitched back.
Okay, so what I figured it out. It's the pit lane that's broke.
Ah.
As soon as they exit the pit lane, it's fine. And they exit in their normal space, it's just a spectator glitch.
Mitch thought that he would get new mediums, but instead got the ones he used in the sprint race. Did he select the softer allocation by accident?
Okay, well that was confusing. I think it's a spectator glitch. Everyone else is, you know, not in the pit lane there.
Interesting.
To be fair, softs will be quite meh, like towards the end.
They will definitely make it to the end though.
They will make it.
Because they have good pace for about 8 laps. As Harley
That's close.
Almost gets disqualified. But everyone else behind him.
It's just...
I think he's made a strategy. I think.
Okay, so people are. So what happens is they go rain turn 1 and teleport. You know, as long as it's not causing like issues, I'm okay with it doing this.
So you chose. So Wojtek chose harder allocation and got used mediums from the race.
Yeah.
This is strange. Like, I don't get what's going on.
It's really weird, isn't it? And this is in for another set of softs.
What?
But his pit stop worked. Callum's now having one of the weird pit stops where it leaves him out on track.
Ah.
So, what is this glitch?
Seems like some people are having problems with the tyres as well. Being put on used tyres.
For me, it looks like Lucas runs on AI.
Seems fine for me.
For me, everyone seems to be on AI. Oh, Lucas.
Although Lucas is touching his steering wheel about 1 billion times a lap on my screen.
We'll have a look. There might be an issue.
As Harley's in the pit, but a lap too late, which means that he'll lose how many positions? I probably shouldn't count. I think this has been a major strategy blunder from him. Should have boxed a lap early. His tyres will be like 3% fresher, but he could have been P1 and now he's P4. So it's a real span in the works for our former race leader. And someone is liking it to a very major event last year, this safety car. Although I'm pretty sure that everyone knew the safety car would come in by the end, so it's a little bit different in that way.
For me, everyone's driving the exact same racing line, taking the exact same braking points.
And the safety car.
What is going on?
The throttle trace from Arjun is definitely of an AI car. Luke, could you ask them in
Everyone
the
other
chat
than Harley.
whether the lobby's broken? Because right now, as Harley's now got an absolutely massive gap, yeah, the steering wheel must be pretty good. This is really strange. Well, yeah. This race is going to be difficult to commentate in this lobby. But I guess if it's still working for the drivers, it's good. I think we'll have one more lap under safety car to work out what on earth is going on. I think it might be because Mitch left the lobby. I think that is part of the problem. And the game freaks out when you try and get a new lobby host.
The drivers don't seem to be reporting issues, but Harley's randomly driving 2 seconds off the grid.
It seems a bit strange.
Should I leave and rejoin and see if it fixes it
Yeah.
for me?
You do that, I'll keep the stream going.
I'll tell you if this works, because if so, then just leave and rejoin.
Someone's having problems with EA accounts.
Mitch did leave, yes. Can I connect through someone else back to the lobby? No, I'm now locked out the lobby.
Ah, is there a way I can invite you?
There should be.
No, I cannot. Oh, is it just
What,
like an
invites and
invite-only
requests?
lobby?
If you go invites and requests on the escape menu.
Oh, I've got over 120 friends.
How many have you got?
128.
Oh, great.
64
I only
of which
looked
are
at.
online.
Mm,
Do we call the red flag?
I think we do.
Okay, you do it. Red flag.
Yeah, this is...
Do we go from the start of the safety car? Race has been red flagged. Speak in game. Oh, I forgot which button is my text to speech. I don't know which button is my text to speech. I'm really sorry, Hugo.
Um,
As Jack Conway Williams' car's going extremely slowly on the restart.
should I message people on Steam?
I guess. This is...
Not letting me connect to my EA account. Brilliant.
Oh, this is a problem. I think if I leave, that might tell them that it's definitely broken. And you can get this lovely starting soon screen. I think what we might... now is when I need to go and check the rules. What is the procedure for restarts and cancellations? 9. The lobby is bugged. If the race distance is 50 to 75%, a normal sprint race will occur. If the race distance is above 75%, then the positions will be taken from the red flag.
We were not quite at 75.
So
The red flag would have been called at 19.
Yeah. We should add a rule that says if a red flag is called on the safety car, you take positions from when safety car was called. So we'll do another 10 lap sprint. Let's hope all of them get out the lobby. Who's doing this new lobby? Do I need to do it?
I'll do it because I ain't streaming. So.
What should we talk about?
During the red flag.
Would it be funny if I try to do some time trial laps on the keyboard?
Probably not. We just need to get back in and go.
Yeah. Tell me once you've got the lobby ready. I need to remember which buttons it is. I'll just go to track. Now I need to remember which button was throttle. Oh no, that's a replay.
She's streaming laps, bro.
No, wait, which button was it to turn? That's camera.
How long will the race be? It's going to be just an extra added sprint.
Yeah. As we've got some mid-red flag entertainment going on. As I try and work out all the buttons, because I haven't driven on keyboard in such a long time. That was this button. Oh, and I've invalidated. Which button is it to shift up?
Well, I'll be first. You will be second. We're going. Well, for us, you pit as well.
Oh, that's the wrong button.
So
no.
we're having to take it from before the safety car. So yeah. Hold on.
Okay, Hugo's asking me to do a quiz. Okay. I have an interesting... What should I do for my quiz? We'll do one on official F1 sponsors because No, I'm doing the quiz, Hugo, not you. Question 1. Who is the official sponsor of Pole Position? Everyone in chat, who is the Pole Position sponsor? It is definitely a restart. We're doing a quiz. Hugo says DHL, Lapage says AWS. Hugo says DHL. I'll give you 5 more seconds, although by the time you're hearing this, the time is probably up. But the correct answer is Pirelli. The Pirelli Pole Position. You know how they give that tyre? Both of you are wrong. Okay. Who sponsors fastest lap? Question 2. I think Luke is hosting the lobby, yeah. Okay. Hugo and Yoni get a point. It is DHL who sponsors the fastest lap. Who sponsors the official Overtake Award? That is the third question. Hugo says crypto. You have 5 seconds. Do you copy Hugo or do something different?
Go.
Okay. Point to Hugo. So Hugo is on 2. It is Crypto.com Overtake Award. Now this one is not particularly difficult. Who does the fastest pit stop award?
Good to hear my view.
Hello.
Yes, so just let me know when everyone's in and I will give you the grid order. Just make it a bit easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, it's just great that the game does that. I think I might host one future weeks if I don't have to stream it. Makes it easier.
Yeah, if Quill's streaming and you're hosting, then that's just going to make it so much simpler. Plus, then people can join on you and you can invite people easier and things like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're not going to DNF and sort of immediately rage quit. Turn quali off. Make it a sprint weekend. Not 25%.
So
Okay.
for round 4 of the sponsorship quiz, it is another point to Hugo. Now time for the difficult one. Who is the sponsor of Driver of the Day? This one is hard, and no looking it up. Yes, we are only doing a 10-lap sprint race.
I'm getting as many people in. As I can.
Yanni says AWS for the drive of the day. Any more answers? I'll give you 5 seconds for when I say it, so probably 0 when you're listening to it. But none of you got it correct. The answer is Salesforce. This is probably the least well-known sponsor. No, it is not DHL. It is Salesforce. And I've run out of sponsor questions for the quiz.
Who race sponsors?
Oh, race. Okay. How many... At the Mexican Grand Prix, how many teams were running an NFT or crypto sponsorship? Out of 10. Put your answer down in chat.
I'm getting as many people back in as quick as possible.
Got 3 answers so far. You can only answer once, Kyle Mack. Well, the answer was 10. It might be 9 now that FTX has collapsed quite spectacularly. but all of the teams had some sort of deal with a crypto or an NFT company. What other questions are in my repository? I need to use my big brain for this, and also talk to keep you entertained. I think there will be interviews after, depending on how late it is, because we might even reach 2 hours at the current rate. There's unfortunately only 4 people in the lobby so far, which is not ideal. I've thought of one. What is the official name of the Aston Martin Formula 1 team? Type it in chat. Actually, I need to check the answer myself because I'm only like 80% sure.
I'm inviting everyone I have added.
You're not allowed to look up.
Currently in the process of deleting random people on Steam so I can add more.
Don't delete me.
Do I give points for almost correct answers?
And give it off a point, I don't know.
Well, how far off am I?
So, I'll go for exact answers only, and Lucas Rudd gets the point for Aston Martin Aramco Cognizant F1 team.
Just...
Everyone else, just a little bit off. I was thinking of an easy question. You know what, I'll just give you an easy question. What is F1's official energy partner? Well, we will start whenever we can get everyone else back in the lobby. It's only 5 so far.
Yep, I'm working on it. We're getting it done as quick as possible.
No one's told me F1's energy partner yet, so I guess... Or is this a harder question than I think it is?
So, who was left in the race? I need to know.
Okay, I guess I've just made up a question which was really hard that I thought was really easy. But it's Aramco!
So, Luke, you need Harley, Kyle, who you have.
Yeah, Harley and Carl are in.
Yeah, Wojtek.
Not in.
Arjun.
Yep.
Ennis.
Invited.
Yeah, Lucas Rude, who's in.
In.
Mike.
Yeah. No, I haven't got him yet.
Yeah, okay. Valentino.
No.
Callum Pierce.
Yeah.
Marcus Carlos.
Invited.
And Jack, who's having problems.
Still only 5 in the lobby. What's the minimum number of people needed to do a restart? Time to check the rules.
10 or however many were remaining if less than 10.
So do all 10 need to be in for the restart?
Pretty much. If not, we red flag and have points.
I am just checking the exact details of the rules.
We may not have written this. We were not expecting this. Yeah, I don't think we've written this. But I'm telling you, so it's fine.
So rule 1.5 says 10 drivers are required for a race start. In the event of there being less than 10 drivers, the remaining competitors will be offered the choice whether the event continues as scheduled.
Yeah. So if like 8 people turn up and they all want to race, that's fine. But there's no guarantee.
Okay, could you pick Wojtek, Landry's saying Marcus Carlos I've invited multiple times now.
How about if they don't turn up? DNF. Was that a Steam or an EA invite? Because only Steam invites give you the pop-up. There's only 6 in. Can we just go?
We have 7
now.
And I've got another friend request, so we should be
Marcus
up to...
is in. That's fine.
Yeah, Marcus. Okay, then I can get
You
in.
need Watch. Mike.
Mike's been invited.
Who else?
Ennis is messaging, but I assume he's joining. I've invited him about
Ennis is
7
already in
times.
Ennis is already in lobby.
Oh, Ennis is in lobby, good, yeah. So that's 8 now we have. How many do we have?
Ennis has asked in the tier chat on Discord if warnings and penalties get removed, and that is why I go. We are
Time
looking.
penalties stay. Time warnings don't, because we can't really enforce the ones that are restricted.
I'm just looking now, and is there anything in the rules?
Let me get my Steam code. Where's my Steam code? Ah. Add a friend. Copy.
We need a thing. We need to like pre-plan activities for red flags. Although this is unfortunately.
Hopefully this is the one and only.
Yeah. And also because it's the first race, we haven't sorted out the lobby hosts and that sort of stuff concretely yet.
Okay. I have another person added, and we have no response from Wojtek. However, I'm managing to get an invite now. 8 to...
Valentino's in.
Yeah, that's who I was trying to invite, but I didn't get to.
So
So-
we are on 9, which leaves.
Wojtek
having
and
problems,
Jack's having
Wojtek.
problems.
Is there one more? Is there 12? Oh no, because one was Mitch. So yes, so that would be everyone apart from Wojtek and Jack.
Can you ping
Let's just
Wojtek
go.
one more time? If no response, we go.
You have 60 seconds. I'm not waiting forever. Is there a time limit?
If he doesn't respond.
On a red flag? No.
Okay, I'm going to quickly set the grid. So, give me the grid, please.
Yep, give me 1 second.
I know Harley will be at the front.
Yep, so it is. Hang on, I'm going to scroll through 1,000 messages. There we go. Harley, Kyle Mack, Wojtek, but he's not here, so that promotes everyone else. So Aryan, Ennis, Lucas Rudd, Mike Atherton, Valentino, Callum Pierce, Marcus Carlos, and then Jack, but he's also not here.
Okay. The grid is set. No response at all from Wojtek.
Let's just go. Tell them to go.
Okay, yeah.
If he's online, I'll invite him. If he's not, then we'll just go. No, he's not online. So tell Thingy to select a car.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm staying tabbed on because, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
tabbed on. I don't break anymore. Okay, finally. Great. It doesn't matter if Valentina's in the wrong car, his points can go to Haas. I know he's in anyway.
Selected it in time. I think it's a
Big-
penalty point if you don't select the correct car.
First time is a warning.
Oh.
Anything beyond that is a penalty point increasing each time you do it. So 1, then 2, then 3. Right, now
We
the
need a
race is starting.
geometric
I'm-
sequence,
okay.
mate, so you can get
Yeah, okay.
infinity penalty.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Have fun.
Right,
Don't die.
thanks for the grid help. Okay, we're back for these last laps. And we will have 9 drivers. Yeah, we'll finish this race. We will be just doing essentially another sprint now.
Yeah. You know what
Good.
happened last sprint?
Yeah, we do know what happened last sprint.
Harvey just pulled away.
Here's this race going to win then? What do we think?
Still just
It's going
waiting
to
for
happen.
players. Are they still doing tyre allocations? And that's sort
You're waiting
of
for flight.
stuff.
Oh, for me, it's not waiting for players.
Uh-oh. Now I've got the... Okay, now it's... the timer set to 0 for me.
It's waiting for players for me now as well. Okay. I think it's just a slow lobby.
Yeah. Now I've got
Okay,
the
we're
timer
starting.
again.
Okay. Whew. Yeah. If we can't commentate over this with it being glitchy, I don't think it's going to be an issue. Okay.
I'm looking at the garages, and both Mike's Red Bull and Ennis are on the softs. Unless it's their teammates' cars. Which is probably the case, if I'm being completely honest.
Okay, so here we go then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the final time today.
Hopefully.
And we are underway. No, we're not. There we go. We're now underway. And it's a good start from Harley. He's going to maintain that lead into turn 1. Carl Mack behind then Arjen. And everyone sort of just keeping their positions. A bit of a dive there from the Haas of Valentino, who slots nicely up into 5th place with that dive. As at the front, Arjun's trying to get past Kyle there, as everybody is on the medium tyres for this final sprint, as Marcus Carlos makes a move up into 8th place. Mike Aberton not with the best of restarts in this race, as Valentino jumps to 4th place. Ennis trying to fight back though,
Goes around
as
the outside.
as Arjun and Kyle also still side by side. Arjun trying to hold this one on the outside. He's going to get ahead before the corner. As Kyle dives it back down the inside though. And
This
some
is a
good racing
spicy
between
sprint.
those two. Marcus Carlos.
Harley's been
is
able to
past
get
Callum
past,
Pierce. However,
and...
Callum's going to go for a dive, I think. Not quite.
but meanwhile, Harley has just pulled away again.
I mean, that's pretty much what was going to happen. This order is sort of what we had before,
Yeah.
nearly.
It's going to be interesting to see whether anyone forgot to put a setup on, or if they've changed their wings. Because low wings at Bahrain can be quite fun,
Yeah.
and also not fun at the same time.
Let's see then.
Oh, that's
Finishing
the
off
wrong
these 10
button.
laps. It's been a lot has happened.
Oh, Lucas Rudd taps the back of the Haas, but fortunately no further consequences for either of them. Well, we have a
This race is going so similar to before, honestly.
yeah.
Marcus Carlos is trying to move. And it's side by side between Marcus Carlos and Lucas Rudd. There's contact, Lucas Rudd is reigned.
That's going to be costly in a sprint race where it's unlikely that it'll be a safe. As Callum Pearce
Marcus Carlos is reigned as well.
has spun round the.
Oh, it's Marcus Carlos, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
was there contact?
there was contact on my screen at least.
Has the resident low wing merchant there fun at Bahrain, but they are horrible. Thanks, Adam.
I guess it's whether you can take turn 13 flat, because if you can, the less the merrier, but if you're having to lift there, just chucking away heaps of time. As we're riding on board with Ennis right now, who is within DRS of the two cars in front, as Harley sets a 31.7 and is well clear of the DRS range of the cars ahead. So he's, I think he's channeling his inner Sebastian Vettel from the Red Bull days. Right now I'm riding on board Ennis, who is following closely behind Arjun, who's following very closely behind the Alfa Romeo in front. Which one of them was it that did a bit of a dodgy pit entry?
The Alfa Romeo Carmack.
So if reported, that will be a 5-second penalty, so we will have to bear that in mind. But it seems like Arjun's actually drops out of DRS at the detection point, which might help Kyle pull out of that crucial 1 second range. But Arjun might just use some battery to try and get back in, as the gap has dipped below a second in the braking zone, but it's gone back up on the exit of turn 11 as they now go through turn 12 and turn 13, and it seems like the gap will be about 1.1 seconds, but I'll check on the battery now, and it seems like Kyle has much less. So will Arjun decide to dump his battery to get back within? Well, we'll find out on the straight to see whether any of them gain like half a second or so. Actually, it's more like 2 or 3 tenths.
Can Arjun get back in? I think he's going to, just about that.
Yeah, I think he just about
he
has
did.
in the braking zone. And that will be critical for the races, as Ennis right now is just sitting behind and probably hoping for a bit of carnage so he can pull out the popcorn and rock up to P2 behind Harley. Although that assumes that Harley does not spin. If he does, this could be a battle for the win, which would be quite exciting for all of them. But considering that he was sleeping for the first part of qualifying, this hasn't been a bad result. And given how long this race has taken, I wouldn't blame him, as we are an hour and 55 minutes after the normal start time.
I don't know. I don't think we have a 2-hour rule, but yeah.
I know the game does, but you only reach it in a 100% distance race, and that's for just a single session, as we've done 4 sessions if you include qualifying, the sprint, the aborted one, and now this one here.
Red flags, the 2-hour clock would stop anyway, true, yeah. The red flag was what, 15 minutes?
That's a long red flag.
Yeah.
By league racing standards. Well, I'm on board with Marcus, who's within DRS of Callum Pearce. Although
Arjun's also moved to second.
I missed that. I went off of them just as they were about to overtake, but Callum Pearce has been overtaken. However, the Alpha Tauri of Marcus has 0 battery left, so he might be able to get back through. Although it seems like he hasn't gotten the best of exits, so we go back on board with Ennis, who's spinning. And firing up the rear tyres. They won't be happy after that, I can tell you. And we can see...
Drops to 7th in the process as well.
Yeah. It was looking so good for him, but just got too greedy in turn 4, I suppose. But we're riding board with Ennis to see if he can keep up with the DRS of the Haas in P4. Because if he's able to get P4, that would be exactly where he was pre-spin. So, not the worst thing. However, it seems like Callum Pearce is about to drop out of DRS, as he's closed in a bit, but he's flashing as well, which means that he's out of battery. And it's actually very tight with Ennis to see whether he'll get within. He uses a small boost of battery, and I think that will just be enough to get him within the detection point as we head into the final corner, and he's within by just a few thousandths of a second. And we'll ride him board with the McLaren ahead to see if there's any moves up in front, as Marcus uses the slipstream and the DRS to then go for a move down the inside, and is crucially behind at the detection point, so we'll get DRS for the second straight, and is also able to get ahead through the corner. So this has not been a good 3 turns for the Haas drivers. Now under threat from the McLaren behind. He's going to go down the inside, however backs out of it, but then there's a minor contact, but it seems like they've gotten away with it, and all this fighting has done is invite Ennis to within a tenth or 2 behind, and is also allowing Marcus to almost pull out of DRS, as there's another bit of contact, and even more as the Haas has been spun around by Callum Pearce, which is not the finest bit of driving so far, and that has dropped Callum out of DRS, which means that he's now vulnerable to Ennis, who'll try and make a move using the battery as well, but he's got the snap of oversteer, and he's in the wall, but seems like he's not got any damage. As Lepage says that Ennis has been awake too long and is getting tired and losing focus.
Remember when we were saying Quill wouldn't have much stewarding to do? You're too right, this has changed it a lot, unfortunately for you.
Also depends if all the retirements and tracks and the pit entries get sent in.
Well, Kyle Mack is about half a second behind Arjun right now, with just 3 laps to go. Harley looking
3.9
at the
laps
front.
to go. Get better at counting, dude.
3.8 laps to go.
Now I think it's something more like 3.7 if you're a specific Aston Martin. Are we arguing over how to count?
It's been a long day.
Yeah.
Red flags are not fun. Anyways, Callum's currently defending for his life in the 5th place, although there's potentially a penalty coming his way, I'd say.
Yeah. I'll go back and board with Dennis to see how he's doing. He's able to stick within DRS. And he runs a little bit wide, but gets away with it into turn 10. Opens the rear wing, gets a much better exit than Callum Pearce, and is right on the tail of the McLaren, who's flashing. And although Ennis doesn't get the best of run through the corner, which will give Callum some critical breathing room going down the long straights. Yeah, Harley shopping is well and truly in the car right now. Although he's only been able to pull out by 3.3 seconds, which is the least out of all the races we've done so far. But Ennis locks up and runs a bit deep into the final turn, which he's been struggling with all race. And he's having to use battery to stay in.
Mike's in the DRS of Valentino. He's going to go to the outside here. He's going to brake later on the outside. And he's going to get that move done. But he's now going to be under threat from the Haas, who will have the DRS.
But they're both without battery. Seems to be a lot of drama going on this lap, as Valentino goes down the inside of Mike. And seems to have gotten the
there's
pace.
got that there, and Lucas Wood spun round. I think he got a bit on the curb there, and yeah, that's not ideal. It's Kyle Max off track. That rhymes, and in the DRS of Arjun.
As someone in chat has said hi. We'll ride on board with Ennis, who almost taps the back of Callum Pearce, who's really struggling with this corner. and it seems like Ennis will be able to get past with the aid of the DRS and the ERS, all the RSs, but it seems like Callum's been a lot stronger through turn 11 and is going to try and get a switchback and then go around the outside. He runs a bit wide. Whether the game gave him an illegal overtake, I'm not sure, but seems to not be the case, as he's not allowed Ennis backfield. I think just Ennis will sit behind and wait for the DRS going down the main straight. But the question is how good of a launch Ennis will get off the corner, and he seems to have gotten a much better exit than in previous laps. He's going to use a small bit of battery, open the rear wing, see the flashing red light on the McLaren, go down the inside, and he's going to get past Callum Pearce. However, Pearce will have DRS on the next straight as they go side by side through the corner, although it's not been the best exit for Callum Pearce, and it seems like Ennis will be able to keep in front, especially if he uses a bit of that battery, but Ennis might be wanting to save that battery for the final lap, although he might have the confidence that he can pull away as Callum Pearce completely devours the curb, which will have cost him a decent amount of time, as Ennis is now 6 tenths ahead going into the hairpin of turn 8. However, Ennis runs incredibly deep, but appears to get a decent exit to make up for the poor entry, and is now going into turns 9 and 10. Takes a very wide line, but seems to have done it perfectly and gets an absolute stormer of an exit off the corner, and is now a full second ahead of Callum Pearce and is using the battery, and it's going to be tight as to whether they're going to be within DRS for the final lap. But as they go through turn 11,
be in DRS.
Callum gets a much better run as he's done all the previous laps, and he's able to hold the foot flat to the floor and has gained 3 tenths through this section of corners, and that will be another tenth or two as Ennis runs very wide through turn 13. This race is not over yet, as also we go in front as the Alfa Romeo is going to go down the inside of Arjun as they're going through turns 1, 2 and 3, and they're going to be side by side as the Alpha Tauri of Arjun is the one who has DRS, although the Alfa Romeo is the one with the battery, although they're out now and they're both out of battery. However, it seems like the Alfa Romeo stays ahead for now, but we'll ride on board with Callum Pearce, who's following right behind Ennis, who still has a bit of battery left. But however, Callum is the one with DRS, although it seems like Ennis has got a sufficiently good exit to stay in front for now. And we'll go further back to Mike, who's almost able to get past Valentino, but not quite yet, as there's one more DRS straight remaining of this race, as we'll go back on board with Arjun, who's right behind the Alfa Romeo, whose name I've forgotten, but it seems like Arjun's going to be stuck behind this one last thing. But we'll go on board with Callum Pearce, who's right behind Ennis, and Ennis runs a bit deep and gets a massive snap of oversteer, and it seems like Callum Pearce is going to be able to get past, although Ennis gets a much better traction out of the corner, but Callum is the one with DRS, and he's going to go down the inside of turn 11. Ennis leaves the room on the outside, but runs a bit wide and exit. Will Callum be able to get a switchback? Seems to not be so, but he's got a much stronger run. Will he go down the inside? Yes, he will! But he cuts the corner. And will he have to give the position back to Ennis? And I think the game might be forcing him to, but they're now using the battery, and I think he'll go down the inside of turn 14, as he's almost alongside. However, it seems like Ennis will be able to nail turn 14 when it really matters, and Ennis takes P5 for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Well, that was, I didn't really get to say much at the end there. But Hardy wins this race. Was it ever in doubt is the question.
Should we try and get an interview with him?
Who else do you have? Carl Mack fighting back at the end and gets second place ahead of Arjun. Got result for AlphaTauri in third and fourth. And then Ennis, Callum, Valentino, Mike and Lucas Ford. Oh, that was a race and a half, wasn't it?
Intermission screen, so you're just going to see the starting soon screen whilst you do the interviews. We'll see who we can get in the commentary box for an interview now. That was an enthralling end to the race.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
interesting.
Need to take a minute or two just to process what happened there.
Do we have some notes or some stewarding notes that have been put?
Where should
So
we
from
send
the
people for the interviews?
we can drag them here. Just tell them to join talking one. So we
Okay.
have Harley, Harley, Arjun, and Kyle, don't we? Okay.
Got
There we
Harley
go.
and Kyle in the room, so I'll see if I can drag.
Oh, hey.
we go.
Okay, we're good. Harley, that was a dominant race from you.
Yeah, I didn't really see anyone the whole
Yeah.
race.
Reminds me
Yeah,
of
go on.
Sebastian
Yeah.
Vettel back in the good old days.
I'm not going to complain about that comparison.
Yeah. All three races, you got through turn one cleanly and then just pulled away.
Yeah. On the last race, the 50% sprint we did, I realised on the last lap that I did have wing damage from the first corner. When I forgot who challenged in, so at least I didn't figure out earlier, or I probably would have panicked a little bit more, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, under the safety car, just before we red flagged,
Yeah.
it seemed like you stayed out for a lap and then went into
Yeah.
the pits. What was going through your
Being honest,
mind?
being honest, I didn't really know what I was doing then after at the fact, but during the thing, I kind of wanted to see where other people were, but yeah, it was the wrong call at that time. But if they were gonna stay out, then it would have been the wrong call to pit, maybe. So
Yeah, it's always a hard choice to make when you're
Yeah.
leading, as you don't have the option of being reactive, but fortunately the red flag saved you there with the strategy.
It did.
Now we'll move on to Kyle Mack. That was an exciting end to the race.
Yeah, I saw he had like no ERS for the whole thing, so I was just saving until the last lap, not gonna lie, so it's quite close.
Yeah. That was an exciting race to commentate because going into the final lap there were three main battles. And I think you and one of them.
It definitely was.
Yeah. Luke, do you have anything to add onto this?
Hold on, I'm sort of just sorting stuff out because obviously we had a lot of issues today with the red flags and stuff. That was sort of something we'll obviously look to fix next week. But yeah, a very exciting race to start the season off, and well, of course, congrats to both of you for being on the podium here, and hopefully you can get some more good results throughout the season. And to be fair, I don't date it after you both had very good drives today. But that's pretty much all I've got to add. I haven't really got many questions right now. I normally would, but yeah, sorting
I think
stuff
it's
has
a bit
been
late at night.
Yeah, it's getting on a bit now.
So
Yeah, I'm getting told to come down for I'm a celebrity, so I'm getting shouted at right now.
okay, enjoy that. So everyone who's still watching the stream after 2 hours and 8 minutes, I guess we'll see you next week for the Chinese Grand Prix at the Shanghai International Circuit. Oh, that's such a painful circuit.
Maybe.
But that's going to be a problem for the drivers, not the commentators. So I guess I'll end the stream there. Goodbye, everyone. See you next week. Actually, no, see you tomorrow. F2. And then see
Yeah, I'll
you
be
on
back
Wednesday,
commentary for
F1.
that. Yeah.
I'll be
Right.
driving an F1, in theory. Or maybe,
In theory, yeah.
In theory. But anyways,
Let's look.
we'll end the stream there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.